Here to deal with this error right here. Now, this occurs after you've been trying to start up your new Django-wiki installation. You've diligently followed all the instructions, such as pip installing Django-wiki. You've copied and pasted this into settings. You've copied and pasted this into settings. And you've maybe added this. And you've gone to go python manage.py/migrate. And then at that point, this occurs. So python manage.py migrate. All right, and now we have this error. Now, you might also get this error when you go to python manage.py run server. So python manage.py run server, you'll see exactly the same error at this point. Now, why does this occur? Well, first of all, I'm going to show you how to deal with this error the quick way, and then I'll explain exactly why it happens. So to deal with this error the quick way, you need to go ahead and delete absolutely everything you've got here, including the virtual environment. Start up a new virtual environment, and then instead of pip installing wiki, you need to go ahead and you need to search for this. You need to have a good search in your search bar of choice for Django-wiki TypeError. Look for Django-wiki discussions, and then you need to look for within that TypeError unsupported operand, so exactly the same error as you found. And instead of pip installing wiki, you need to pip install this direct from GitHub. If you go ahead and do that, then follow all the rest of the instructions, such as adding these to your settings files, then your wiki will run just fine. Now, if you want to know a little bit more about exactly why this error happens, let's take a look at the error message. So this occurs in the file, which is located in virtual environment, the name of the virtual environment you created, which in my case was venv, lib, site packages, etc., etc., etc. Now, you might be tempted, because it says settings.py, to go here to settings.py, and then you're kind of saying, well, you know, I'm having a look at line 60, and line 60 has got nothing to do with that whatsoever. But what you actually want to do is read carefully where it says in venv lib. So we're going to go venv lib. We're going to scroll all the way down because it says wiki. Oops, not there. There you go. Wiki conf settings.py. Wiki conf settings.py, and we're going to take a look at line 60. Now, at line 60, it says here frozen set and list. So unsupported operand type for plus frozen set and list. So we're trying to add a frozen set to a list, and it doesn't like it. Well, this is definitely a list. We can tell that because of the square brackets. But then in that case, is bleach.allowed tags possibly a frozen set? Let's find out. So let's print the type of this thing, bleach.frozenset.allowed lists, and let's print that, and let's have a cheeky little input there so we can actually see what this is. And in fact, yes, this is of class frozen set. So this is a frozen set. So we have an issue here that we can't add a frozen set to a list. What we're going to do to begin with is, why don't we just make those two lists into one list? So how about we have a single list of tags. So tags list. So tags list equals this. So why don't we just grab this whole thing here, and we're going to add that into one little tags list ball all of its own right there. There we go. So we should now have a thing called tags list here. And just to prove that we've got a thing called tags list, why don't we just print that here? So we're going to print tags list, and then we're going to have our input. So save, and off we go. Unsupported operands for, oops, we don't seem to have an input there, which is bad news. Okay, so we're printing the type of thing this is. Then we're trying to have some input. So have we got that? Yes. Okay, fantastic. So there's our frozen set, and this is the list that we've just created. So let's just prove that, in fact, we can't just add tags list to that again. So we're going to get rid of this, and we're going to try adding tags list. And what we'll do is we'll just zoom out of this a little bit to make it a little bit easier to see what's going on up there. So now we've created our tags list using exactly the same as what was being done here. And we're just trying to add this again. And we can see that we've got exactly the same error there. It's in a slightly different place. It's a little bit further down, but we can't do this. So what can we do? Well, how about if we try converting this thing tags list into another frozen set? So why don't we go frozen set, There we go. So we're going to convert this into its own little frozen set, and then we'll see if this works. At this point, we'll get rid of these printouts here, because we know that bleach.allowed tags is a frozen set, and we're happy that tags list is what it's meant to be. And now it's telling us that we can't add two frozen sets together. Well, blimey, if we can't add two frozen sets together, then how on earth can we get this frozen set into this frozen set here? Well, one thing we can do is we can use something called a union. So we can go bleach.allowedtags.union, and what this is going to do is this is going to return what happens when you add frozen set to bleach.allowedtags. So let's save this and let's see what happens at this point. So now that we've saved this, we can see that the error has moved to a different place. It's no longer up here. Instead, the error is down here in this location. So we've solved that error, and we've got another error exactly the same as before. And at this point, we've got markdown HTML markdown underscore HTML underscore whitelist plus equals this. Now, bearing in mind this is the same issue, frozen set and list, I'm going to assume that this is a frozen set, and I'm going to assume that this is a list. So we're going to try and save this in a similar, we're going to try and deal with this in a similar way. Now, what union does is union returns what happens when you add this to this. But if we try and, what we need to do at this point is change this in line. So we're not going to use union this time. We're going to use something called update. So we're going to go update. There we go. We're going to use update, but we're going to have to change this into a frozen set as well. There we go, frozen set. So we're going to update in line markdown HTML whitelist with frozen set. And again, we're going to try saving this. And frozen set has no attribute update. Okay, that's no good, is it? Let me just check and make sure I've got that right. So frozen set. Let's have frozen set update. Python frozen set update. And it seems to me like frozen set does not want to update. Now, why doesn't frozen set want to update? Well, it's because frozen set is actually immutable. So what we are going to have to do now is rather than trying to make a union, we need to do something else. Here you go. Intersection, is that what we want? Difference, intersection, symmetric difference. I tell you what we'll do. What we're going to do here is we're going to do this the quick and dirty way. We're going to say HTML whitelist equals equals markdown HTML whitelist dot union. Oh, there you go. That might be why. It's because it wasn't frozen set. It was frozen set. Okay, right. Let's try that again. Actually, do you know what? Let's scrap all that. Dot update. There we go. And any errors here? Ooh, frozen set object has no attribute update. Okay, so I was correct. Okay, it wasn't due to my spelling mistake at all. Okay, union. Let's go. All right, fantastic. So that works, but the problem is that that's not going to update. That's going to return something. So what we now need to say is markdown list whitelist equals markdown whitelist dot union. Phenomenal. No more errors there, and that is now all sorted. So we are returning the thing that happens when you add this to this. And that looks like it is good enough for the code. There are no more errors. So why don't we now stop this? Let's see if we can python manage.py migrate. That seems to work out just fine now. The error's solved. And python manage.py run server. and also the server's running just fine as well. So now let's go and see if this is looking remotely Django-y. It is looking Django-y. It's not looking wiki yet. So let's also go and add this into our code, because that's kind of where we stopped. So let's add this into new wiki urls.py. I'm going to wang that in there like so. Still no errors, which is great. Let's refresh the page, and now we have something that is remotely wiki-like, which is absolutely superb, and that's exactly what we're after.